Well, here we are at another addition to our logs to pallets. This is our log pile here. Things has really changed over the last videos I've done of our place here. We had a big fire and a lot of machines are different, and we've really got a different setup. It's kind of neat with all this snow on. Start to melt off, but basically log trucks come in here and they come on a trailer like that. That's one of our trucks there. It's just an old beater truck, and they unload them up here. Of course, we pay by the pound. I'll slowly pan over here to our scale house right there, that Bald Eagle building, there where them truck tracks are is a scale, actual scale, little digital deal inside, and I think it's $30 a ton what they pay right now. It might have went up or down, I don't know, but anyway, they come up here and the guy has got a knuckle boom that he unloads it with. He's got several. One, it's actually, I just spotted it down there. He uses that one to unload it with. It's on tracks and stuff. We'll go down there and look at that here in a minute, but there's another one that usually sits down there, and that one there is portable, you know, or it moves on its own power. And the other one that's pulled by a truck, and that one there is pretty nice. We hadn't had that one too long. Alright, we'll go down there and see what we can find on that one. Alright, here we are a little closer to the Tiger Cat. Basically, they pull up a trailer full of them logs right here and in these tracks, and then of course the operator will unload them. And then we used to have a deck that sat just basically right there with that aggregate setting. It went all the way to that set of rollers up there, but it didn't really work out, and the building is in an awkward place. It always wanted to hit the building and stuff, and it wasn't it was very dangerous, so we took all that out, and just he feeds it one at a time. It really works out better that way, and there's other setups, and that green machine there is a debarker. Basically, just you can tell it goes through it on the other side and then comes through, and then it just debarks it. We don't have that setup running yet, but it'd be nice if it was. But anyway, the guy basically just sets the logs up on that deck. There's a guy that works in this little building here, and he's the one that actually operates the saw there. And it's a lot of it's automatic now. We've got little sensors on there that it's a lot. Before it was all manual, but I mean, there's still operator still has a job to do here, but it's just pretty neat. Basically, it comes in there and a little stop block stops it, and then that saw just comes down and cuts it to length, and it's just a general length deal, of course. And basically, that little roller, that thing there, it just spins around and around, and it just keeps pushing them cut pieces up towards in the building, and of course the chain will pull it the rest of the way in, and well, I'll take you inside and see what happens on the next step. Alright, here we are inside the building, and basically those cut logs from out there come in here, and there's a guy just on the other side of that roller. You can see the joystick there, joysticks, sorry, and he operates this machine. This is the hang on, let me lose my, so I don't lose my footing here and fall down. That'd be funny. But anyway, he operates this machine, and they really like it. And basically, slabs from this side comes out here, and then the other slabs will come out the other side, you know. And this is a 4-sided, and basically them little rollers there will just hose it deal down. You know, when the slab will come out like this here. Of course, there's a guy, he operates this machine too, and he's feeding it manually, but it'll go in like this right here. Of course, them rollers are on chains, it's chain operated. It'll pull it in there, hold it down, and then it'll go to right about there, and then blades will cut it again, and they'll get this part of the, not really the waste, but the it takes, that way you can get all the boards out of it. And of course, there's the outfeed right there. And there's several steps. This is a lot more complicated than it used to be. There's waste, I mean all kinds of waste, but it could be a whole lot worse. But there's my wifey and kiddos, and we'll take you to the next step. Alright, and here we go. You know, those the last little section there was coming down this feed, and they'll come up to this machine here, and those little dog ears right there sticking up will take the board and go in, and over there on that side is a blade, and that side, well, right there is a blade, and as you can tell, that one's never been used. It's still got the green stuff on the teeth, and we'll just, you know, they have it set up ready to use. But it cuts it, it cuts the length of it, makes it more precise, because that machine outside is just kind of roughly does it. Then of course, Timberland Machinery, West Plains, Missouri, as well as that one, 4-sided Scrag, Timberland Machinery. I went and hauled all this stuff in myself personally on a flatbed, one piece at a time, well, several pieces at a time sometimes, and it all worked out. We have a vibrating conveyor now. This machine here just basically just goes like this back and forth, and them little pieces will fall out. It's a whole lot better than like a conveyor belt. I mean, you could sit on it and it would vibrate you out. It's kind of a chore to stand on. But anyway, there's another one of those edgers right there, same as the one I just showed you, that comes out of there. But what comes out of that is the block, you know, a big square block, because when you have something round and you cut 4 sides of it, you got the square block out of it, and of course it goes up in there. And basically, if I can keep from falling, and here's some more of the West Plains Resaw. One place is just right down the road from the other, and these are really nice. We had Bakers before. They've got really nice open this up here. Look at that. Real big old teeth on that thing. And they just basically go through there, them little bitty boards, and they cut them to length. Of course, you know, this one being the first one, the high one, a lot of times it won't even touch anything. And of course, the next one is just a little bit lower, and they've set them down. They can cut 3/8, 7/16, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 5/8. I mean, just whatever pallet we're making, you know. Of course, this one's a little bit lower. And here's an older edger, that we do a lot of specialty work with. It's just a manual deal. One guy stands on one end feeding the machine, and the other guy stands on the other side of the machine just taking it off. And I mean, it looks like it's just an old beat up machine, but they work really good. Just all they gotta do is cut two ends off at the same time. And basically here's the outfeed. It's the same as that one. That one's just a little bit bigger, and that's the one that handles the blocks and stuff. So this job's a little more it's a little busier over there. Of course, all them little tubes going up is going out of it's a big vacuum cyclone deal outside there. And this is where the finished products go. Both from the slabs and the blocks will all come out on these conveyor belts here. There's guys standing, you know, just in amongst this, babysitting it, because it's a chore dealing with it sometimes, because they want to fall down and turn around. And they just, as you can tell, the waste and stuff like that goes down to this little conveyor here, and it goes off to that vibrating conveyor. That's a little machine that just kicks the finished product out on the conveyor belt. These two machines here are basically dedusters. They just, the boards similar to them but better, you know, them, that's coals there, will fall down in here, and then it'll just take it through there, and first I want to beat it off, and then there's more up inside there. Of course, Timberland Machinery, West Plains, Missouri. And comes out the other side. And now there's where it gets a little bit more complicated. Used to have guys that would stack this stuff up. Now we've got automatic stackers, which when they're not working right, they're a big headache. But when they're working, they're great. But basically it takes one layer, fills it up, and then pushes it down, then another layer, then another layer, and then by the time it gets to a certain height, it'll spit it out here. The forklift driver will be able to pick it up basically out here on these rollers. And of course, the guy that's working this right here, he can push it. The forklift driver ain't got time to come get that stack. He can push it down to, you know, make out of the way. And same way on this one here. It's supposed to be all automatic, you know. But you know, it's not. That's in the perfect world. I mean, you gotta sit here and babysit this stuff quite a bit and adjust, and little stuff will hang up, and deals right here. If the board is too high or something like that, it'll catch it and pull it. You know, like if two of them come out at the same time or something, it'll pull it off. But they hang up there, and they'll hang up on them rollers and stuff. And I mean, you get used to it and know what to do, and you just kind of watch it. But it's real noisy in here, and I could video this with it working, but you wouldn't be able to hear me talking at all because it's pretty loud in here. And basically it's just another side of that other bandsaw. And it's pretty nice. Here's the other side where the blocks and return. Basically, if one of them kicks back, it'll come back and take it again to cut it all over again, in case, you know, if it was too big or something. Okay, and that was the Scrag setup. We have got also a Cant line and also a inch line. Here's the other side of that Scrag. I'll bring it in here. As you can tell, there's a lot of them bits and stuff like that. Here's some of the used ones they've taken off, but this goes in them saw blades, and they get chewed up all the time. They're kind of a burr to change. They ain't too bad. Once you get used to it, especially. As you can tell, they go through them. Have to change them out all the time, sharpen them and stuff. There's the sharpener right here. Just kind of goes, hooks on there and then sharpens it up. Here's the other side of it. This stuff just spits wood out like crazy. This is a pretty good machine. I mean, just you better hang on. It's gonna chew up some logs. Alright. Okay, I was going to show you some of those blocks. That basically what comes out the other side. Basically, it's just a block, a certain length that they're cutting that day. I'll show you this cant line here. Okay, here's the cant line. This was in our other video. This setup is similar to what it was. Some things are different. But basically, a big loader just comes up here with a load of cants, whatever size they're cutting that day, and those are 6x8s right there. But anyway, they just set them up there, and basically the guy in here has got the control of all this. They'll come up there on the rollers, go inside here, and see there's Golden Eagle. They're up there in Kentucky, I believe. And basically there's a big saw in there. This guy, and he basically operates all these controls here. Operates all them things over there. There's foot feeds and stuff. And he'll come up here and there's a saw in there. Probably focusing on that fence instead of the saw blade, but anyway, it's on a slide and it slides back and forth and it cuts the end off. And then he's got these little, when he goes so far, he's got these little stops that, of course, that's all adjustable, and it will stop on to the certain length, and then he cuts it. So basically he's doing the job here as those end trims was doing down there, where, you know, they had two blades. Well, it does it in just a different way instead of both at the same time. Then it just comes down through here. This is one of the only Baker things we got left anymore, and this one here has been holding up pretty good, and it's just a 3-head. Basically it sizes it up and everything here, getting it ready for on down here. They can cut those cants to make runners, or they can make deck boards out of them and stuff like that. It's not just set up for one particular thing, it's adjustable for all. And then he'll come out here and he'll come over here, and this little deal is set up on it's all sensored. That block of wood will hit here, and then it'll flip it over, and then it'll come in this here and then just shoot it right up in through those bandsaws. And it's basically the same setup as the Scrag bandsaws, and it just goes through several of them there and cuts them all to length. And there's several controls this guy's got to operate different things, and safety buttons and stuff. All the guys seem to really like these quite a bit. Of course, I drive a truck. I don't have to operate these every day or anything like that. But it basically comes out this side here. I keep from falling. Here's blocks that's come out of machines and stuff like that they just cold, and you know, or it was just the wrong size they was using, stuff like that. Instead of just throwing them away, they save them for another day. And basically when it comes back out this other end, just whatever they're running that day comes out there. That kind of looks like a little tank track, comes over on this conveyor belt here, And there's a stack of them cut up there, and as you can tell, some of them are rotten. And guys will just set them on there, and they throw away quite a bit that's rotten, but you know, their job is mainly just to stack them off. Basically, a guy stands here stacking that stuff, and you know, they I don't know, some of them should have been cold, but the next guy that's actually going to use them, he'll throw them away. And here is the notcher. One guy was asking about this and wanted me to do a video on this, but basically boards like that or like those or anything will come in here and they'll all fall down to right here, and these little ledges, these strips right here, will catch the board, and then it will just carry it up. Of course, these chains are going, and they'll carry them up, one there, one there, one there. Then they'll fall down in the machine right here, and they're basically stacked up all down through there. It's Timberland also. Okay, well then it'll fall down to the bottom of the machine there, and it's got big old teeth on it right there. They're all staggered, and it's got teeth over there. And they basically, them boards are just coming out, you know, just like this, and it'll just chew them up. I mean, just chomp, 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 chomp. It's pretty fast. It's a lot faster than what you think. I mean, it's got a massive old motor on it. Well, you can see it down in there. And when it comes out, there's a guy standing right here. Well, and they'll have a pallet right here for the guy to stack them on. And here is like well, this is a finished pallet, but it basically, it's what does this right here. That it just puts the notch in there, and it's a necessity. You just can't. There's a lot of customers who want 4-way pallets, and they want to be able to, you know, have it on the other side, or be able to, you know, use the forks on either side. But that is the machine right there, and they really seem to really like it. About like any machine, it gives them headaches every once in a while, but people give us headaches too. But there's all the controllers. We've had several different ones of these. See, like we even, that's an old part of an old deer stand that somebody's wired up there because they have to climb up on top. And basically those little orange things just kind of helps funnel the boards in there so they can fall down in there easier. I went and got a board, and I wanted to set it up in there so I'd show you. Basically, you can, that's how it would come out, but they'll be side by side. I mean, they'll just be, each board will be bumped side by side. As you can tell, that basically lines up with that, and that lines up with that. And there's, I don't know if the light will show you, but there's those little teeth on there. That dude will get your hand. We had one old boy, he's been doing it for years, and he, I guess, got in a hurry, and he stuck his hand in there trying to get the last ones. I don't know if he was trying to go to break early or what, but he stuck his hand in there and chewed it up pretty good. But believe it or not, he's back working it again, and I think he's a little bit more cautious now. Alright, this is where all them boards that was cutting up comes together. Basically, here's one of those runners. There's a whole stack of them here. There's one guy, his name Vicente, that works here. And basically, depending on what kind of pallet it is, 4-stringer or 3 or whatever, they adjust this for that. And he just throws them in there. There's one already down in there, and there's one right there. So basically they've got this set up for a 3-string pallet, and you know it sits upside down right now. Well, that's all that guy's job is to do, really, is just to throw them on there. But that, and of course, those right there are the coals. And he basically, if he sees one that ain't any good, you know, he'll put them offer in it. And there's another guy. Okay, and there's another guy that basically stands right here, and his job is to put the bottom board, basically the bottom boards of the pallet on there. Here's one stack he's using, and then that next stack could be brought up when that one's empty. And his job to me is more technical, because he has a lot more adjusting to do for the thickness, and that he has to make sure there's nails in there. He's got to operate the machine. I mean, it's more of a complex deal. There's that little deal kind of vibrates around and puts the nails down each little deal, and those are like a hydraulic nailer, just chomp 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 chomp, and puts the nails in there. And it's all hydraulic, and they leak hydraulic fluid like bus lines quite often, seems like. It's not too bad. They really like these. This is a Viking Turbo 505, and there's a motor up there, and basically he puts the boards in right there, and there's some down in there, and them runners from here will come over and and it puts them on there, and we'll come over here. They don't have any in there right now, but basically the halfway finished pallet will come out, and it's upside down. The bottom boards are on it. The three on this one was a 3 runner, and it'll be on there, and they'll all just come out, and it's all got sensors and stuff like that. And if for some reason it's going to be like a heat treated pallet, there's a heat treat stamp that's hot, it brands it, and it'll brand it on both sides. They can put our name on there, the size of the pallet. Some places want like a part number and the size of the pallet on there, and that can all be changed for that. That's a pretty neat little deal, and save a lot of hand stamping. And that's the star turner. Basically the pallet will go in there, and then it will raise it up, and then the next one will go over, and it's basically all it's doing is turning the pallet upside down or back up right. And now this guy, he's the main guy on the line, and this is basically it basically does the same thing as his last machine, but it's got more of a technical part, because it's like the finish deal. He's got to make sure the pallet is right, and make sure I mean it's straight and everything, you know. And he's basically the main quality control guy here, even though the whole plant really, because you know, if he's don't think it's right, it don't need to go out. And of course he's got him a stack boards too, and there of course it on 99% of the pallets it uses more boards on the top than bottom. And he's got some here ready, and probably some down in there too. And we got some pallets, as you can tell, that like it'll use 2 6-inch boards, and then they'll have them, and then the 4-inch, and then 6-inch. And that gets, when you're in a hurry, you know, I mean, you get used to it, but I don't know, if you're in a hurry it can get confusing. Of course he's got the same controls and everything here, same little nailers, and there's one pallet that's in there getting done, and basically 3 nails on the 6-inch on the ends, and then 2 on the 4-inch. And basically you can see that little sensor there shining that light down on that board, and that little sensor knows that if it don't get a reflection from that board, then and it sets off a little warning. And it'll tell the operator that, hey, you putting a pallet out that ain't got no or got any boards on it. And basically it just comes out this other side, right on this side, comes out, it's all automatic, and then it just turns and goes over here, goes in the stacker, and then stacks it up 20, 21, 22 high, sometimes even more, depending on the thickness of the boards and everything. And then whenever this machine knows when it gets so high, it's got a counter on it and everything, and whenever it gets done, it'll spit it out to right here. And I've seen this whole thing just run up plumb full, as you can tell by the wear spots. That and that's where, of course, these doors are open when they're working. It's a weekend now, but the forklift will open them doors and he'll come take it out, put it on the trailers. Just wanting to show you one of these blades with it out. Of course, you notice it says slab. That means because they're turned a certain way, they've got that's the slab side. And basically keeps you from using the wrong side. But it's just to show you just the size of them things, because I mean, that thing's huge. They're very heavy too. I just wanted to show you that goes to the Scrag mill. Here's the pretty sharp. Okay, I was wanting to show you the scrap side of the whole Scrag mill and pallet manufacturing part. Basically, all the sawdust and stuff is vacuumed out through this big cyclone setup. There's a big blower, and it goes through here through this big old cyclone deal, and it comes out the bottom. And then that barn sweep, usually there's trailers parked underneath there. There's one on each side, and then there's an auger that will take them and drop them down on top of a open top trailer. There's one of the trailers over there kind of parked funny, but basically there's several different things getting there too. The sawdust that it's coming down this vibrating conveyor also gets dropped down in there, and it chain conveyor takes it over there, and then of course when it drops it off, that there's a belt up there, and then the auger it goes from one length of the trailer to the from one end of the trailer to the next, and then just keeps filling it up until it's full. Basically that's an open top dust trailer, chip trailer right there, and it works out pretty good. But this is their new chipper here. They're just getting it going, and it's the other one was kind of a headache. It's now probably being sold as we speak to somebody else. But as you can tell, we got a lot of snow, and keep from busting my tail here. There's the bottom half of that vibrating conveyor. It's kind of a neat deal. And sometimes that chipper won't even chew everything up, and it'll have to be brought back up and done again. Like if it's either too small or too big or whatever, and then basically it just comes in here again, and it'll chew up them big old blocks and big old boards. I mean, them boards there look like they're good enough to use, but they might have been too short or something. Like I say, there's a lot of waste. Here's the top side of that, like a little track pulls that stuff over. Stuff works pretty good. I'll go down here and keep if I fall, this video might go viral, huh? But it basically, this machine here, this the cover, it's all got the teeth in there, and it'll just chew that stuff up, and basically it'll spit it out down here, and it'll come out the bottom of that. They've got that little cover up there, but it'll come out here, and that up underneath there is the finished product. It's chips, and of course there's different. They do different things with the chips. You know, they there's the output, and then it'll go up there and go up in the trailer and fill it up. But this is kind of a way he was talking. This is kind of a temporary setup right here. They're going to be building another set of the barn sweep auger deals, because them work really good as long as they're maintained right. And this is just kind of like a temporary deal. Load trailers, get the chips. But there's a little building that's got all the electronics and the breakers and stuff like that in there. The back side of that debarker. And there's that tiger cat again. There's it. Cut off saw there. And this side of it. A lot of guys got a job here. They're doing a lot of different things. Most of them are Mexican. The guy that runs the tiger cat that unloads the logs, he just started not too long ago. But the guy that works on the regular knuckle boom here, they've got it put in a different spot. He's worked here for few years, and all the guys inside, they've all just about worked here for several years. Some of them 12, 15, 20 years, and which is kind of neat, you know. Back side of that. Alright, here we go. This is the inch line. This is coming in from the other side of a building. Basically boards about like this one here. That one's a little wider than normal. That's probably why it's leaning up there, but it's they're all different lengths. 8 foot, they can even be shorter. 16 foot, we hardly ever get them 16 foot, but they're usually 8 to 10 foot. Basically same as that Cant line. A loader drops them on there, and then the operator will pull them down here, and he'll bust the bundle and take them down in here, and then one at a time he'll feed them into this machine, which is another edger. It will basically cut the either 4-inch or 6-inch boards, and of course they're full length, and they'll just run it right through there, and then of course there's scrap right there from each side of the board. Some of them are usually wide, some of them are wide, some of them are, you know, narrow. And then they'll be fed onto that machine right there. It's KM16. And it's got several heads on it there. And that's where the links of the boards will get cut. Them little dog ears right there, we'll grab them and then pull them on in. And it'll cut, so it cuts several pieces at one time. And which is kind of neat. And them heads are adjustable for different lengths, and they're, you know, that could be some of the finished product right there. The guy will stack them off, and it's hard to say really what they're doing, you know. But as you can tell, there's a board back here, and the steel plate up there. As this machine really flings that stuff out, because I'm in the boards, and bam, it'll hit them. And there's a few pieces there. But before the fire, we had, don't look at that. I don't think that's OSHA approved. But okay, yeah, look at there. Look at that. Yeah, look at that one there. That's come all the way through. And you imagine, man, standing there when that deal hit. But anyway, yeah, there's him. It's kind of an old machine, but they're really good. I mean, just hard to beat a KM16, really. I mean, for doing what it's supposed to do. Here's some of the finished product. The guy will stand here down here or two, and then feed off this. Look at that board right there. That looks nice. And basically he'll just stand down here, and of course the waste of everything will go back down here to this conveyor belt and pull it right back down to here, down to that vibrating conveyor. Of course we're back in where that Scrag's at. But there's all different ways to get these boards, and we've got to be able to use the Scrag logs, Cants and inch lumber, because the market changes so much. Sometimes we can't get the logs, so we gotta use Cants. Sometimes we can't use Cants, we gotta use inch lumber. It just kind of varies, you know. And sometimes and of course it's better to use the logs, it's cheaper that way. But there's the KM16. I'll come around and get a front view of it, see what it shows like this. There's all the heads on it. So basically he could cut something to a certain length there, and then another length from there to there, there. And of course, you know, most of the time them probably like these two down here or those two down there are not even used, because the board ain't long enough to get a cut on all heads. And I mean, he's limited to how long they are for how long we get, and how long I've seen some of them where they wouldn't fit through that door. That's pretty rare. We haul them in from all over the place, really. It's back side of that. It's a really noisy machine, but it does a good job. I don't know if I can see the teeth in there or not. No, you can't see that. I've replaced blades on that before. I was going to show this little notcher here. It's made by Cant Corporation. There's their phone number. I'm sure they're still in business. But basically this is a notcher by itself. It's we use it quite a bit on specialty stuff. It's got a head just like that big notcher that I was showing you over there a while ago. And basically you just stick the board in there like this, and then just manually push in, and it notches it. And of course it's all adjustable for whatever you're using. But I mean, it's a self-contained little deal. They can push it around out of the way and stuff like that. But you could use it for small boards, you know, like if you cut 48s or 40s or something like that. It'd be great for that. But we use it mainly for big long stuff. I don't see any inside here, but basically just goes in there and then manually brings it over. As you can tell, it's set up for a big long one right now. We've got some pallets, they're like 8 foot long. A little specialty deal. But it's all self-contained, got the motor down in the bottom, and basically all it does is run. Of course there's the output right there, and guys just shovel it up with a shovel. And I usually put something behind it, you know, like a stack of boards or something, to keep it from just blowing all over the mill here. But it's pretty simple. It was pretty cheap, and he got it in on a deal and didn't think he'd like it, and then after using it, it's pretty neat. It's paid for itself. Okay, hand operated notcher. Basically on that hand operated notcher, I was saying that some of them longs, look how long these are. I seen these while I was walking by. I thought I'd video those. And that machine down there, the big notcher, wouldn't be able to operate something, or handle something this wide, because I mean that's a wide board there. There's something standing up, and basically I just put them in that hand notcher, and it works really good, and puts a really good notch in it. And that board there seen better days. Looks good on this side. Anyway, I thought I'd show you what basically it would notch. This is their specialty deal where they put them together by hand. We got some customers that takes a wild pallet or something like this, and then they'll just put it together by hand. And that deal right there is basically the dryer. Air compressors are on the other side of that wall there. Comes in there and takes all the water out of the air lines. It's a pretty fancy little dryer deal there. Okay, we're at the doors on the outside of that the nailer, the Turbo 505. Of course, them doors are always up, when they're running and stuff. And a forklift driver will come and run, take these pallets just like these right here, and either put them in the trailers. We got 3 docks right here. There's only one trailer. Well, actually, there's 2 trailers backed up to it. One of them has got that old chipper on it that I was talking about earlier. And there's another dock right there, but for our van trailers, these are pallets here that goes down to Little Rock to a place. We go down there quite a bit, so we usually keep their pallets on hand. And that's what pallets look like when you keep them for a while. Sometimes they build too many and the customer quits or something, we end up stuck with them. And basically, here's our flatbed deal. We have enough room here to put 2 flatbeds, and that's one of our customers up in Blyville, and they're strapped down ready to go. That's where I'll probably go in the morning. And of course, it's been heat treated. Got the heat treat stamp, and to heat treat them, this nice little building right here, basically there's a big old oven in there, and it cooks them things. I think it has to get to 160 degrees. I could be wrong. I'm no heat treat expert, I'm just guessing, but there's little sensors in there, and you have to drill a hole in the end of the pallet in 3 or 4 different places all throughout there, and put the little sensor in there, and the center of the wood has to get like 160 degrees and hold it. And it's pretty neat. Some of the heat treated pallets here, and we got pallets laying everywhere just ready to be shipped sometimes, or they're extras. Sometimes we get behind or get time, pallet orders are low or something like that, we'll build pallets and build them ahead of time. We've always got pallets laying everywhere, and that's basically it. There's I could show you videos of all our supply and stuff like that, but that's not really fun. I mean, we got stuff everywhere, just stacked up everywhere. And there's my truck out there right now. There's their phone number. If you need to call us and you're in the area and need pallets, call that number right there and tell them I sent you. Sorry about it shaking. It don't like to. Anyway, there's one of our loaders up there. There's our beautiful pallets. Make really good pallets. They really take it customer satisfaction seriously. They really want our customers to have a good pallet, and we haul all over Arkansas, go to Oklahoma, Tennessee, Missouri, just wherever needed. We mainly stay in Arkansas though. We've got 2 customers in Oklahoma. Heat treated, that's that branded stamp that I pointed out earlier. And that's basically it. If you have any questions or any comments, just put them below and just subscribe. I've got a variety of different videos, and I enjoy making the videos, and I enjoy looking at some of the comments. Some of them I'd end up deleting, but you know how it is. People want to be rude. But anyway, here's our pallet operation. Thank you. Here's another little thing that we got here, incinerator. There's their phone number there, air burners. Anyway, basically runs off diesel, and it kind of looks like a big dumpster. Pretty much, I guess it is. And we used to, as you can tell, just burn. Big old burn piles here. A little mixture of dirt and anything. But anyway, them guys will just throw the scraps of wood in there, and that machine there just basically blows, and it really makes a difference. You can burn up a lot of stuff a lot safer. They got the fires all contained in one spot. It's quiet. It's real quiet, and it's a pretty good setup. It's just a little fan right there, and just blows, and blows through there. And that's the kind of stuff that they burn. Just little strips of board, and of course people come down here and throw other stuff in there. But it burns up pretty good, and that dude right there gets real hot. We got called into many a times for having open fires, so now we just got that, and it makes it a lot easier. Makes the fire marshal happy. All right, thank you.